Naren is the former executive director and now the integrator Pradhan.
Very learned person once upon a time said, so the planet dialogue is about climate change. So in that context, I was remembering a very learned person who once upon said, the climate does not change. What has changed is our ability to deal with the changes in the climate. So I tend to agree maybe. In the large cosmic scale in which he may have made that statement, it's maybe even correct. It is the nature of climate to change. Climate has always changed, and then people have surely over a period of time managed to manage that change as well. In fact, I'm reminded of a film song, old film song by Mohammad Rafi, "Ye aaj mausam bada beman hai bada mausam." So, the lover is very nervous about the changing dark clouds on the face of his or her friend, and is planning how to deal with that. Or the little child who looks for the right weather signals before she presents her school report card, right? So from that lover to that child, or to that farmer in Vidarbha, or that coastal artisanal fisherman, people have managed, and played very creatively with the vagaries of climate and have survived, maybe effectively, not so effectively, but over a period of time, people have managed to deal with it. Earth, we said, is formed about 5 billion years back, and life forms started emerging in this planet over the last 4 billion odd years. And human beings, but the current form of human beings that we saw have not been here more than for 300,000 years. So it's very last few minutes of the larger cosmic cycle or the geological time scale in which people have been here. And most of the out of Africa population today, which we see about 80% of the world's population, is only 70,000 years old. So it's actually very recent population that we have been here. And in this short period, we managed a lot in that sense. So the journey from that 300,000 years or that 4 billion years to this 70,000 years and now, it has been full of upheavals, major cataclysms, major catastrophes, floods, heat waves, cold waves, cyclones, and even meteoric attacks. So that has kind of extinguished, life forms in this world or on this planet many times over. And life forms, as we today call biodiversity, has been extinguished on this planet for multiple times, and yet we have new lives have sprung up. Our scriptures, if you look at our Puranas, etc., are full of stories of such kinds. In fact, one of the more popular stories of our Vishnu Purana is the Dashavatara. And in Dashavatara, in fact, many of these avatars actually deal with how the Lord incarnated on the planet to actually save lives and life forms from major climate events. The Matsya Avatar, in the beginning of the Satya Yuga, when the Matsya was, there was a massive flood, and most of the world was actually going to, like in the story of the Noah's Ark, the world was going to be submerged, and then Vishnu incarnated as the fish god or the fish incarnation, and then retrieved the earth from under the seas, along with all the knowledge, etc., the Vedas, as it is said in the Puranas. Similarly, the Kurma Avatara, which is the avatar that came again next, was actually about lifting up a mountain that was sinking into the oceans, the Mandara Pahad, Mandar Pahad in Bosi. So that Pahad, actually the Kurma Avatar actually went down to get it. The Varaha Avatara was again about the Mother Earth, who was hiding inside the oceans because of some demons, etc. The Varaha Avatara was actually about retrieving the Mother Earth, who was hiding inside the ocean. So there are multiple references to such events, even in our Purana. So that means people have been experiencing it, have been constructing stories and mythologies around it. But then those were the days when I think the human influence of many of these cataclysms was low, and therefore God incarnated to help them. But today, that is not the situation. In fact, the human influence, basically the human-centric nature of progress and development as we know today, and civilizational evolutions as we know today, have had such enormous impact on the planet that I don't think God will come to help us. So I think we'll have to think of what to do there. In fact, if you look at global warming, which is the root cause of all these big changes, which is again caused due to the major greenhouse gas emissions, etc., have been caused because of our own creations. We have been, not treating our Earth, our planet well, our natural resources in a balanced manner. And that is what has been creating these kinds of major events. In the last 30 to 40 years, the rate of warming has been double than what it was maybe 100 years before that. And the last 10 years of this century has been the warmest, if forever, in the existence of this planet. And I'm thinking if it continues like this, the next 10 years will be even warmer. The next 10 will continue to be warmer. And within the next 2 or 3 decades, we might reach stages by which the warmth or the warming process will become heating process. And it might go totally out of control. And then we'll have absolutely no way of knowing what to do. So this is actually a assured destruction that we're all going towards. And that is where I think, opportunities like this help us sit and reflect back again. Just want to tell you a story before I wind up. There was this young boy and as young people, very chirpy, very active young boy. He happened to meet God. And then God asked him, how can I help you, etc., whatever. So the boys told God that, I've heard from my mother, from wherever, from stories that, even in the last days of my life, just a few last days, if I am able to take your name, regularly, pray to you, and do some good, nice things, I will go to heaven. So God said, yes, absolutely true. Then he said, our deal is, you tell me when I'm going to die. So, tell me a few days before, and then I will redeem. So that what I can do is I can enjoy the rest of my life. And then God said, yes, I will tell you. And then he went out, he enjoyed his life to the fullest. He ate, he drank, he danced, whatever he did. He had the best of fun, but because of the way things that he did to his body and the out of balance, out of control enjoyment he might have done, health started decaying very fast. He became aged prematurely maybe, and did not die a very happy death. He died, of course, sad ending. But the anticlimax was after dying, he went to hell. He did not go to heaven either. He suffered everything here, and then he suffered. Then on the way to entering the hell, he saw God again, because he must have been standing somewhere. He said, why did you do this? I mean, you didn't tell me. We had this deal that you will tell me before I die that, that you're going to die, therefore you should start praying, etc. Then the God said, no, I've been telling you. I was telling you always. The first time your hair started turning gray, that was my first way I told you that you're growing old. When your eyes started becoming weak, you needed specs. I told you you're growing old. When your teeth started shaking and started falling off, I told you again and again and again. You did not listen. I wanted to tell you, I wanted to have this dialogue with you, but you did not listen. And that, friends, is the essence of this event, the Planet Dialogue. The planet is trying to talk to us. The planet is trying to set up this dialogue. But the issue is, are we listening? Or can we listen? Can we listen to a Mother Earth as to what we are doing to her? And otherwise, it is mutually assured destruction. So can we listen to her? Gandhiji gave us this talisman that before you do anything, think of the last person in the queue, think of the poorest person, and then see what you do actually affects that person, right? That is a talisman Gandhiji gave us. Can we have maybe another talisman? Can we think, and every policy maker, every business leader, every political leader, all of us citizens, all of us common human beings, can we ask ourselves that whatever we do, first, can we ask Mother Earth, and can we listen to her, what she's saying? So can we have this dialogue and then appropriately shape our actions? And I think this forums like this Planet Dialogue that Cognisphere has so gracefully initiated, which I hope will continue and have more versions of this coming up, will be an opportunity for us to collectively think, sit, contemplate, reflect, maybe listen to each other, but also listen to ourselves as to how are we doing things that are, where our Mother Earth can actually have this dialogue with us and do things accordingly. So otherwise, we have to do that. I think this is the final stages. This is the last days of our quote unquote life in a way. We have to start praying. We have to start thinking of the Lord Otherwise, we will also kind of end up in the hell. So this dialogue is a process. I think we should continue this. We should have this process more and more, and not just have dialogues, but actually start doing something about it. Otherwise, as we all know, continuing with my Vishnu Purana, the 10th avatar of Vishnu is still waiting. It's called Kalki. And that is a short distraction. Kalki has a big flood in his pocket. He will take it out anytime. He has not given us any time frame. So that's for us to guess as to whether we want to invite Kalki at what point of time. He can come early, he can come late. But that is our choice. And from what do we do from here to that eternity? I think that would be our question. And that is what I think the Planet Dialogue is trying to answer. So before I conclude, I would like to just recite a little invocation from our Upanishads. I hope I'm reading it right. Om Dau Shantir Antariksham Shanti is called the Shanti Mantra. Prithvish Shantir Abhas Shantir Oshedha Shanti. Vanastapeha Shantir Vishwadevah Shantir Brahmam Shanti. Sarva Shanti Shantireva Shanti. Sama Shantiredhi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The meaning: may peace radiate there in the whole universe, in the vast ethereal space everywhere, in the water, in the land, and in the sky, in space, in fire, in the wind, in medicine, in vegetation, in the forest, in the grove, in the subconscious, all over the world. May peace reign in the heart of all living beings and in every particle of the world. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May there be peace. Thank you.